my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, coming at you on the first Monday of May 2024. And why is that important that we're in May? Because I can now say it. Next month, we travel. How exciting is that? This is a job in an industry where we're working really 10 and a half months a year for 6 weeks of awesome. Now, not to say the work we do isn't awesome all year round. It is. I get to spend most of my day meeting with you. If you're watching right now, I probably met with you at some point, which is just amazing. But the highlight of what we do is our tours, right? And we can now say that next month we get that 6 week stretch or so where there's always a tour going on somewhere, always social media amazingness to put up, videos and pictures. I get to do the tour myself, going to Spain, Portugal. I'm going to coach up some lacrosse. I love this time of year. It's like that stretch between Thanksgiving and Christmas is really what we get to experience between like Cinco de Mayo, which was yesterday, and tour number one, which is next month. Like we're there. This is so cool. I'm sorry, but I love my job and I'm really excited for the fun part. And that's me seeing the world, and that's for you as well, and seeing you see the world. So I'm just giddy right now, people. Sorry if I love my job. That's all I could say. And so it's a happy Monday because our tours are next month. It's a happy Monday because the weather is beautiful today, at least where I am in the Northeast. And happy Monday because those New York Hockey Rangers swept Washington Capitals and knocked off Carolina Hurricanes in game one of what's going to be, I think, a 7 game series for sure. So, Tim, I know you're all bummed because your Canes lost game one, but I think this series is going to game seven. I think it's going to be a classic series. Yesterday's game was just awesome at the Garden. So moving on to business. So every week now, my video, this series, the latest spin, is going to kind of be built around an upcoming tour. So today, I'm actually going to piggyback on something Tim did for our social media. And today, if you're on our social media, Tim highlighted the United World Games Tour, which I did last year, and kind of a little tidbit about it. And this was kind of how Americans don't quite know Austria very well and don't quite understand how amazing it is. And so for those of you going on the United World Games Tour, I got to tell you that what Tim put up today on our social media could not be true. This is why Tim and I are a good team. We're always thinking about the same things. And I cannot begin to emphasize enough how unbelievable Austria is. So those of you going to United World Games Tour, you're going to be mesmerized by going to Munich, Germany, because Munich is an amazing city and obviously a major city and famous. Those of you doing that day trip to Venice, Italy, same thing. Like Venice is Venice. But I got to tell you, the part about the United World Games Tour that blew me away the most was just being in Austria. All right, Austria is just amazing. It is beautiful. It is clean. It is what you expect out of Europe. For United World Games, Klagenfurt, Austria is just a spectacular little city. We go to Salzburg, which is the most beautiful city I've ever been to, and just riding around the countryside just blows you away. So for my friends going to United World Games Tour, and I'll have more details before the tour itself to share. But the thing to know is do your homework on Austria because Austria is spectacular. You're going to love it. All right. If I were to be told at some point I'm only doing the United World Games Tour every year, I'm not going to go on any other tour for Student Athlete World, I would be really excited about seeing Austria once a year. I think it is the most spectacular place, one of the most spectacular places I've ever been to anywhere in the world. So for those of you who have not yet seen that social media post, check it out. It's all about how great Austria is and believe every word there because that was the highlight for me, just being in Austria. I loved it. I want to go back one day. If I have a chance to go back to United World Games, I certainly will. And I'll have more United World Games stuff coming up, but today was just about Austria. Now, today's What in the World is brought to you by Chaffles. What are Chaffles, you ask? Now, as you may see here, I've lost almost 40 pounds since the holiday season, and I'm on a very specific kind of diet without going into details. And basically, I'm replacing a lot. I love carbs and bread and stuff. I'm replacing most of that. And I discovered Chaffles. Now, what are Chaffles? You get a waffle maker, but you're not making waffles. You're taking some shredded cheese, generally mozzarella, because it's a fairly neutral cheese flavor. All right, you're mixing it with some eggs and some almond flour, and you're putting it in your waffle maker as a batter. And what comes out tastes just like bread. And it is almost as good as the real thing. So you can have chaffles. You can also mix in some like other flavors like jalapeno cheddar chaffles, but just a plain chaffle you can now use as a carb-free bun for like a sandwich or for burgers, and the taste is amazing. Look it up. It's spelling waffles, but with the CH at the beginning. So today's What in the World is brought to you by Chaffles. And for What in the World, we're going to New York City, and it's What in the World New York Mets. Now, I've been a New York Mets fan since birth. I grew up in Queens, New York. Yay, Queens. In the shadow of Shea Stadium, my Little League baseball field, beyond center field, you were able to see Shea Stadium, where the Mets played and won the World Series in 1986. I'm a huge Mets fan. I admit to it, as painful as it is. But the Mets this year, very uneven start to the season, started 0-5, won a bunch of games. Now they're back to not playing well. But here's the thing: 56 stolen bases have been attempted against the New York Mets this season, 53 of which have been successful. I'm not a math major, but that's really bad. Okay. You're a professional baseball team, New York Mets. You have a professional major league catcher on your team. You have coaches to teach major league players how to play like major league players. And quite frankly, me in my less fatter state than before, but still not nearly as skinny as I'd like to be, can steal a base on you. Big problem. Huge problem. It is embarrassing. Fix that one immediately, New York Mets, because we're not going to set that record this year. Okay. Basically, any walk or single is now a double or a triple against New York Mets because they can't catch base runner stealing, which just means it's going to happen some more. Yesterday, Tampa Bay Rays beat the New York Mets. They stole 7 bases and went 7 for 7. You can't have that. You're a major league team. So New York Mets, on behalf of your fans and Chaffles, figure this one out. Stop letting other teams steal bases. That's all this week for the latest spin, as always. With our few roster spots remaining, how do I join in on the fun? Only one way. Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, schedule that interview with me, pack your bags. See everyone next week. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the great weather.